Welcome in to the MJ38 show, episode 11. Episode 11, throw another one on there. 2 1s now. I love it.
Number one twice.
Parallel, symmetrical. I love it.
I love that. Number 11.
Episode 11, waters are warm.
What's some of the great number 11s in this world?
I can't name one off the top of my head by any means at all. I'm sorry.
Someone's super offended.
Who's some of the legendary 11s? Can you name a single one off the top of your head? Go.
Like
so someone's got something out there.
I don't know. Maybe in the baseball world.
Maybe
Someone's going to be upset.
Maybe playing cricket or some shit. You know?
What's today's date? We'll talk about different numbers.
Today's the 11th.
Really?
Yes.
Larry Fitzgerald.
There we go.
Larry Fitzgerald is one of the top.
Okay, Larry Fitz.
But let's be honest. He's number one, and he's not. I mean, he's a legend. He's probably in the Hall of Fame.
He's a legend, and he's consistent. And he's like Kawhi Leonard.
Been there for years.
Does his job, gets the dub.
Constant leader.
Does he have a ring?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, right? Because I'm pretty sure they played the Pittsburgh Steelers in that Super Bowl and they lost, right?
They did. That was a nuts game.
Crazy.
Yeah, so he's got a vicious 0. Number 2 would be Julio Jones.
Not a regular 0.
No, he's got a heartfelt none.
Piece of his heart's missing
None.
on that one.
I said none. That would be 1, which isn't 0.
1-0.
It was for emphasis.
1-0 thing, yes.
Julio Jones, number 2, again.
Okay.
A heartfelt 0 rings.
Oh, that's a fat one. That's when Tom Brady did some stupid stuff.
Isaiah Thomas, there's an icon. We're looking for icons on this list.
Isaiah Thomas?
Yes. From the Bad Boy Pistons, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
Number 11?
Yeah, number 11.
Okay,
there we go. Bad Boy Pistons.
Now I know. Now I have on deck forever.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Number 11.
Took a ring off Jordan. And then Klay Thompson, if you want a current guy.
Oh, okay, let's go, Klay. He's got some rings. He's got some jewelry.
For our Houston people, Yao Ming.
Yao Ming was number 11.
I'll give you a Trae Young.
That tall motherfucker.
Kyrie Irving at one point. Mark Messier for all my hockey fans.
Hockey guy.
And then we're on
Skating on the ice guy.
Elvin Hayes from the Washington Bullets. So don't feel too bad we couldn't draw any off the top of our head. It wasn't really on us.
Isaiah Thomas.
I wouldn't have gone in like that if it wasn't also May 11th. It's like, oh, well, okay.
Damn it. We had it. The 11th, episode 11. The waters are warm. Hopefully your day is going incredibly well.
I hope so. Let's go.
I hope so. Let's go, baby.
It's hard to have a good day sometimes. Sometimes it's like you got to work for those.
If you're working out, get in there a little deeper. If you're doing the dishes, get in there a little deeper.
Do them all.
If you're driving, get in there a little safer.
Crush.
Signal and definitely whenever you merge over, you got to lower your window, then wave your hand out and thank you. You know, you got to acknowledge that. You got to do that. You got to show some fucking gratitude.
Don't even get him started about showing fucking some gratitude in this city.
It's an easy practice. I know it feels a little awkward at first. It feels a little weird.
No, when I'm driving, I like to have my windows down, and then I'm addressing everybody. I turn my turn signal on, and then I'm like...
I've seen you go out of the window. You're like, "Hey, bro, can I get in right here?"
Yeah, I want to have that community. It's like Warzone, how you can talk to other people in other cars now.
In community chat.
Yeah, it's community. Yeah, so I'm like,
proximity chat.
I'm trying to get in. And then they roll down their window. I'm like, "Can I get in right here?" And they're like, for sure. And I'm like, "Okay, this is tight."
It's so much more reasonable and so much more accepted if it's a person versus just another car.
Yeah, if I was sitting there
let my car in, let me in. This guy's a dick. This guy's a certified asshole.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I'll never let him in.
Never let him in.
Or something like that. I like doing that.
Beef level road rage.
I'm also trying to take responsibility for everybody else's car on the road. So when I'm driving, I'm like, I don't know if this guy knows that I'm in his blind spot and I'm trying to go this way, and I don't think that this guy knows that he's in his blind spot. So all that's kind of and I'm like, no, I'm going this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have
yeah, sometimes you gotta have enough awareness for everyone, you know? For everyone involved in the scene.
And driving is a great time to practice that.
Yeah.
It gives you opportune, you know what I'm saying?
100%. And sometimes I'm appreciative whenever other people have more attention than I do. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, I'm like, oh shit, look at that. Thank you, love it.
Yeah, that's always scary, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I don't think anyone's 100% perfect all the time at driving. Especially, I guess it depends on how much you drive.
Very true.
Some people don't drive very much. Some people don't have their license at all in their adult age. How many people do you think don't have their license? What percentage of people
like
over the age
drive?
of 16? Yeah, I guess, or over the age of like 18, whatever. Because we worked with an employee at the old spot at the rock place, the place where we got rocks and such, and she didn't have her license, and she was in her early 30s, I want to say, late 20s. Well, no, she did, but her sister did not. That's what it was, because she had to drive to work, obviously, too.
Right.
Or maybe they have to go to work and get the Uber every time.
Right,
or get someone to drop them off.
That's how they live in like New York and stuff like that. Like, there's people that definitely don't drive everywhere. It's just a crazy life to like actually live all the time. Because I want that agency of my whip.
My whip.
Like, go.
My domicile.
Right?
Yes.
But nah, people are just like, they're cooler just being like transient. You know, so I take Uber. Like, I don't know, bro.
So, what percentage of people do you think over the age of, let's say, 18 do not have their driver's license? Or maybe not even that. That's not even the specificity I want.
But they don't drive a lot like that?
Yes, they don't drive.
They're not really driving? I don't know. Like 30%? 30%?
Oh, no.
Like a war chant into my mind.
30%? I think it's a high number, but I think...
Because there's a ton of people out right there. And we're not all driving.
Nah.
Rush hour would be terrible if we were all driving.
What?
Like, rush hour is like bad. Rush hour. But like, we're not all on the road. I think about that. I'm like, thank God not everybody drives.
Yeah, that's true.
What were you thinking?
I'm sure. I'm not sure. I thought it would be lower maybe in my mind, but I think now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more thoroughly, I think that's a potential. Maybe I think it's a little bit high.
Yeah.
But maybe only by like 5 or 10% at the most. I think it's at least like 20%.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
That's a cool life. Some people just get driven around because
drive a little safer.
Yeah.
Be a little more chill. You're chilling with us now. Let that guy cut you off, bro. He's a dick. He got a tiny weenie.
Fuck him. Fuck him. Let him have it. I don't care.
It's all right, man. You're good. You're with us now. We're chilling. We're having a good day. It's a Thursday. We're back on Thursdays. Life is getting wild at this point. Yeah. We keep it moving, man. Episode 11. That's a lot. Let's go.
Yeah, we're stacking them up. One by
one. There was a stat, or I'm pretty sure you had sent me an Instagram post or tagged me in here some way or somehow, and they were just talking about, I guess, once you get to 21 episodes, you're in the top, what is that, 5%? 1%?
Yeah, I think they said, top 5%.
Top 10%?
It could have been top 1%, but it was definitely top 5% of podcasters. Like, most of them quit at episode 10. It's like only 20% of podcasters make it past episode 10, and then of that 20%, only 20% of those make it past episode 20. So if you get to episode 21, I think it's like you're in the top 5% of people who have ever done a podcast.
Something like that. It was. I think it was scarier than that.
Really?
I think it's like most people don't do a second one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then to get to 10, and then to get to 20, and then to do a 21st. I think
it's a whole thing. Like, this is like our third or fourth time trying to do a podcast, which is like working out. I think you have to like try to work out, like new year, new me, and you got to fail like 3 or 4 like big pushes for like body change, and then you like the 5th time like it sticks. And I think like Russ has a bar that like I understand that when I stumble, it's just part of the dance. And I was like, I think that's in reference to like you have to fuck up to like achieve high level stat. So like,
be a novice. You have to not know what you're doing in order to figure it out.
Right.
And you can come in a master at anything. You might be a little bit talented towards something.
I remember people at Saltgrass being like, how do I get to a place where I'm just like steady in that cut where I work out all the time and it's like not a problem?
How am I a master at making myself work out and like the working out and the nutrition and everything that entails?
And I was like, you just have to like embrace every time you fuck up. Like every time you fall off, it's like, okay, that's one less time I have to fall off.
Part of the dance.
Yeah, get yourself back to like where you make another run and then you'll go farther. And when you fall, like every time you fall off, I'm like, you need to fall off 3 or 4 more times before you're stable. You're asking me how do you get to stable? Like go until you fuck up like 3 or 4 more times and you'll find stability. It's a weird thing to tell somebody, but like,
hey. It's gonna be. I think I remember telling somebody in the sauna the other day. I think I may have kind of fucked them up a little bit. But we were just talking. We were just in the sauna, and then we were making small talk. And I forget exactly how the conversation came about, but I just remember saying something about, it was such a crazy realization whenever I figured out that I'm going to have to be doing this forever. If I stop, it's all going to go away, and I don't want it to go away. So and time is just going to keep going. So I have to like go with time now. Like I'm doing this forever now, more or less, and that's kind of alleviating because that also kind of removes the idea of a set hardened deadline. I think you do need to set like a time sensitive goal. That definitely helps enable some motivation and get you prepared for like a wedding day or a summertime or whatever your time sensitive goal is. But having the realization of this is my whole life now it kind of removes that. It's like, oh, I remember telling him something like, yeah, so you don't like, there's no rush. There's no rush. Like you have your whole life to figure it out, but it's a whole life thing now.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in this if you want to be, if you really want to be.
You're in it right now.
All
the pain's gonna be real. So yeah, I love all of that. I guess patience is what came to my mind while you were saying like it's a whole long thing, like it's a very long expression. So like if you can like slow down to have velocity, but slow down your expectation and just like enjoy the present.
Maintain the velocity.
Yeah.
Or I guess enjoy the velocity.
Right. Just a mix of that.
Just steady moving. I'm crawling or whatever, walking, stumbling.
Yeah, it's like the turtle in the race against.
But fall in love with the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And there definitely is I think it's a truth. I think kind of have to because if you do a program or do whatever. If you set out to learn X amount of things, like how much of the stuff that you learned in high school or college is like kind of like out the window, you know? Like if you don't like practice it and keep that alive and give it more energy and time and attention,
yeah,
it goes away.
Yeah, you can use it as like reference point. You're like, I remember this fact from this thing that's useful here and there, or like I built on this ideology because I actually used that thing I learned in accounting. But everything else, just if you don't use it, it like goes away, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I think. I forget I wasn't saying that in reference to.
When I think we were talking about like what we were telling people, you were talking about in the sauna, but just like about working out in general. I feel like it's a box too. It's like the cool thing about working out is it's just a box. Like it's just you just have to check your box every day, or it could be like your cardio and your weightlifting and your nutrition. It's like 3 boxes, but it's like how do I get to stability? It's like just get good at checking those boxes every day. Like, you check those boxes every day, and then it's just no problem. Like that's simple. That's so simple. I'm so thankful it's so simple. You know what I'm saying?
It can't be that simple, but yeah, it's very hard. The controlling of yourself,
for sure,
hard thing to manage. We're all tasked
very true. With. Just show up, get good at showing up.
But yeah, I think there was also truth in what you were saying. Like you kind of need to just go through the progression of falling off and embrace the falling off and use that as a stumble and a move in the dance and a setback, not a fall off.
No, it's like enjoyable if you think about it. You're like, oh, I was running so fast that the engine blew again. It's like sick. It's like now we figure out how we fortify it so that we can go from we blew at 700, now we're going up to 800, 850, 900 miles per hour, or whatever you call it, 9,000
and whatever RPMs. And whenever your vehicle can handle.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's at their own thing, at their own stage.
But that's just like a positive outlook, right? Just having that positive outlook on when you fail, because I think that's the part whenever people get like negative emotion attached to working out.
I think that's the most important fork in the experience.
Really?
And then going through something, and it's like whenever you get the results back, and then if you take an L, if you're able to transmute it and make the L negative downfall energy transmute you into more positive energy to rise up, because it might be a dip. You might lose. You're going to lose sometimes. You're not going to win everything all the time. You wouldn't want to anyway.
No.
Yeah. You learn more from the losses.
You do. More important.
Way more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use all that to, I guess, hopefully motivate you to have a higher spike.
One of my favorite songs.
If you're really about that upward trajectory.
For real, yeah, you want that. You want that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs talks about, it's like a balance because, or just favorite songs, I just mean like in the current meta, there's a song called The Game by, like, I think Rick Ross is on it, and then Locks, and I think like The Game.
The Game.
And yeah, it slaps. It goes super hard. And he's talking the first guy. I'm pretty sure I'll pull it up for you. But the first guy's verse is about the balance between like how many you should take losses because it helps you to learn more, but then at the same time, there's like a clock running. Like you need to get your wins. Like you have to go on your run and you have to like get through your windows. So you have to like when you do take your losses, it's like learn as much as you can from those losses so that you can like get ready to go back and hit. You got to hit buzzard beaters. Like you're gonna have to go ham.
I guess getting losses doesn't hurt so much if you are at least like in the mindset of trying to win. If you're trying to win and getting like taking an L like that, that's okay because you can learn from that. But if you're not trying to win, I guess if you don't have that, maybe that intrinsic internal motivation towards something, and you're not trying to actively win in any particular direction at this moment, and you're just like taking L's, because L's are coming. Give a fuck who you are, what you do. You're taking an L or two in your life, son.
Yeah, that's facts.
So you just take L's and not even because if you're like, I took that L, but it's okay. I can learn from it because I'm still trying to win because I have won in the past. I know I can win. I lost right now. This is like this now. I'm a loser. I lost, but I can go. I know I can bounce back.
Yes.
But not a bounce back.
And you can look at the league too and say like who took hard L's and then that like motivated them to greatness. Like Kobe, Jordan took the L against Isaiah Thomas, and then that
Jordan took some L's,
propelled him to go on his run. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out Last Dance.
Come on, man! Like that's greatness.
Yeah, but if you take the L, so having the vision and I guess movement towards an ideal of winning and victory, and trying to like really embrace that and trying to be a winner for real, you could take the L's and keep moving because that's what real winners do. But if you're not trying to be a real winner and you don't embody that behavior, maybe you don't have access to overcome those loss emotions. Maybe you just get like swarmed in the loss.
Yeah.
And it just becomes negative and you become nihilistic and Jordan Peterson, blah, 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 embittered.
And it's tough because you don't know what you're doing wrong. Some people are trying their hardest. It's like, that's the thing about Kane is like, he was making sacrifices that just weren't deemed worthy. That has to be double annoying, right? It's like, I'm trying.
Extra waste of time.
Yeah, it's like when you're not trying, all of that's like not good enough. It's like, why not?
You're not even close. Not even the right. There's no real not discrepancy. I guess description, right? There's no real.
Yeah, it's kind of more
true
vague.
Explanation.
It doesn't say why his sacrifices weren't favorable.
Yeah, because X, Y, and Z.
Well, what do you, or is there anything that comes to your mind when do you fill in the blank there personally?
I guess what would you? I don't know. I guess you kind of have to make some assumptions. But I guess in the assumptions I would make, maybe they weren't truly accepted sacrifices because they weren't true in their intention, true from where they came from, maybe, or maybe the energy behind it. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that energy nets with me. Like, right. Yeah, I take it to mean like almost. I think about when I was a kid and like when I was doing stuff like I was trying, but I wasn't trying. Like I wasn't like
going through the motions, but not giving like your full emotion, like your full you.
Yes, 100%. Like in school or like in like even just like at church, like just being there versus like really trying to like soak it in and like you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between when I was like are you feeling me on that?
I'm feeling you. You're going to the gym just to like post on social media that you're going to the gym,
right? Like
you're not getting yoked.
You're not.
By sitting on the machines and shit.
You're not doing the thing.
Hit him with the thumb wars,
like
bro.
You're doing it, but you're not, and like that's what comes to my mind.
Like a false sacrifice is not accepted,
and I don't want to put that like on maybe because I don't want to have to say like you have to take this as seriously as I take this. Like I don't want to necessarily make that claim, but I'm like I do think that like that stuff hurts people. Like when leaders don't try to be leaders, that hurts people. Or when like fathers don't try to be fathers, like that thing hurts people. And like when like people's sacrifice isn't truly a sacrifice, like that hurts people. And I think that that's the thing that he's kind of like alluding to is like just a shittier version of me like wasn't really putting in the work to try to like with like good intention to have manifest like a good true goal for myself, to like have a clear vision for me. Like sometimes I was working all week to get drunk on the weekend. It's like, what are you praying for in that sequence of things? Like you prayed for like 7 days for like strength and courage. It's so that you could make money so that you could get fucked up. Like, what are those decisions? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of what I think about whenever I think about Cain. And then he ends up killing Abel, which is like...
That's some shit right there.
But not that I understand that, but I can understand the frustration of like... when you want to be on the path going forward and you think you're doing everything and you don't know why it's not like clicking for you. And I know that feeling of like life is so hard. You're like, why is this all so hard? I didn't ask for this. Like I didn't want to have to be alive, and I want to just be like a hippie and fucking smoke weed and just listen to music and like fucking play video games. And why do I have to like work my whole life? You're trying to like conceptualize the frames of your time, and you're like, I spend all my time with the people at work. That makes no fucking sense to me. Like I'm just trying to be home with my family, but I'm never there. I have to work to pay for all of that shit. And like I think that's where a big branch of like nihilism kicks in for people is like fuck that. Like fuck that.
I understand. I get it. I see what you're saying.
And so when I think about Cain and Abel, I think like part of that is like I think Abel accepted those things and was like still willing to make the sacrifice and still willing to go to church and have like a happy heart and like still try to be compassionate to people that were probably annoying to him, and like just all the things that in my spirit I feel like I used to struggle with more when I was like in my youth, or like just like being a better person
growing up.
Yeah, like I think that that's kind of the separator in my mind too.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's kind of up into interpretation.
Yeah, 100%, right? That's why I was wondering what your interpretation was.
Yeah, so I think that's all I can really say. That's kind of like broad, but yeah, we can dive into it more and more and more. But I think that's like kind of like where like a one sentence thing I can just throw at it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm somewhere with this. I don't know. I'm wrestling with this idea right now. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Facts.
Truth behind the intention, and maybe truth behind the intention, and also a full conscious effort as well. You know,
being all in,
being fully alert, or being fully awake, and choosing like I'm doing this thing.
Because we lie to ourselves a lot, or I used to lie to myself a lot. I think
everybody does,
right?
Yeah.
Especially when I think that's part of becoming like a woke person, or like when you take a super mega multivitamin and it makes you feel like a woke person. Is it kind of rips away the lies that we tell like ourselves, and the lies that like society tells us, and the lies that our parents told us, and it kind of just like presents
the preconceived frameworks of existing.
Yeah, what the fuck, like
what's going on here?
Yeah, it kind of like takes you out of that, and you're like, oh, this is what I thought about all that shit.
Yeah.
But that's all just thoughts I had about all that shit. And I'm looking at all of that from here.
I live in my thoughts about these things, but then, like, what the fuck are the things? I'm living in my thoughts of the things.
Yeah, and it's all, you can just take your time unpacking.
I can just, like, change my thoughts of the things and now live in a different thing.
Right? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of places to go from that place, but I think that one of the true things about what that does to you is, like, it takes off the blinders of a lot of that stuff and kind of just, like, opens you up to just, like, objective reality. You're like, oh, this is what's happening right here.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, a lot of times it's like, oh, that's why, right there. for me, it's like, because I am like that. Fuck, I'm like that. Fuck, I must contend with that, or I'll continue to have this in my life. Like, it's so obvious in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
It could be that black and white real easy.
Yeah, and it kind of hurts. You're like, fuck.
Yeah,
ow.
It's crazy we can't access that all the time. It's there, but we don't live there. We do. But like, so that's what we were talking about before the pod. I was like, I think yoga, and I think, what was the other thing we talked about? Yoga and
fasting.
Fasting, that's what it was.
Yoga and fasting both can like pull away the thing that stops you from realizing that it's a LSD experience. Like, it pulls away a little bit of the blur factor.
Like, whenever you take a super mega multivitamin, we said it takes away like some of the preconceived frameworks you have of what this thing is. And then you're saying that through yoga and fasting, you can also start to tear away some of that same thing. Yes.
Like whatever that preconception framework is, and just see things from more like through, I guess, what you would call like a psychedelic lens of like people for who they are, and like love them in that sense, and like be more empathetic in that sense, and like see storylines as storylines, and just energy as energy. And when you see just energy as energy, and you feel like your energy, like all of your like attachment to your feelings about all of those things, like they kind of fade away because you're not so much like this individualized person anymore. Like, you're more just like conscious of like your existence of like the mass you take up, and like what your like the space you hold up in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, we're all just space and black holes and shit. It's like, I'm colliding with this because of the fucking rotation of axes I can't even comprehend. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but then within that framework, you're not so mad about whatever the fuck anymore. Like, that was the big takeaway. It's like, oh, like just everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's going to work out. Like, the same way I feel after a psychedelic experience, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, like, it was just, like, comparable in a real small way. Like, this is a 10 and this was, like, a 2. You know what I'm saying? But
doing the yoga and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying that you were able to achieve some of that?
Yeah, when I was doing, like, yoga, like, especially the hot yoga.
There's, like, Kundalini yoga. Isn't that, like a specific type of yoga that's supposed to induce that state?
Yes. But I think the benefit of that is, like, the breathing. And like that goes along with it.
Okay, yeah.
Because like if specific breathing can induce a hallucinogenic state.
Yeah. Deep breathing can do it, or patterned breathing.
Exactly, patterned breathing where you'd be like,
yeah, like hold it for a 4 count, like.
Yeah, and you have like a coach sitting there doing it with you, and then I guess you'll have another coach who's doing like I guess it's the same guy. He's doing yoga too, and he's like, now we're going to upward dog with a 4 count. And you're like doing fucking like yoga, but like with this crazy shit, and that's supposed to all of that shit going on. And I guess like after 15 to 20 minutes of that, it's supposed to like fucking you get high as fuck on just like life, which is kind of a crazy fucking thing, right?
The chemicals already exist within yourself.
Yes,
to allow you to get to that place. What the fuck?
Like
what the fuck?
Our spine has
weird.
That's so weird. We excrete DMT in ourselves.
Yeah.
So whenever someone has like a out of body
That's
experience,
probably what it is. You probably just like release some of that.
that's what I assume, right? Is
Or
like
maybe not release, but whatever the process is for you to
digest it or
go
whatever.
through that, whenever you take it and that trip that happens, maybe you're able to access that in your own body as well. Whenever you do these techniques of breathing, meditation, and yoga and fasting.
I could feel it it was easier in hot yoga, but in regular yoga, if I just like strained myself like all the way to the point where like my body's kind of shaking.
Maximum discomfort?
Yeah, maximum discomfort. That's where I found it. It would be like I would have to remove myself from myself. It would be the only way to
maintain the position.
Yes. And then I would be like, oh, this is kind of I think this is what they're talking about. Like, I would have to go outside of myself to continue to hold this. But I think I am strong enough to continue to hold this. And if I just continue to discipline, tell myself, like, don't let go, just let go, don't let go, just let go. And then I would come out of myself sometimes and I'd be like, whoa, fucking whoa. I'm just a mass. I'm just a mass of energy.
Just a mass occupying space in time.
Look at all of the...
Wow.
Look at all the... Look at
time.
He's dealing with so much shit. Yeah. You're just mass. Like, and like it's just...
You're just mass. You're massive, bro. You're mass.
That was the big takeaway. And then I'd come out of the yoga and I'd be like, oh, I'm just be massive. And then I would like not be so like concerned. I don't know how to explain it. It really helped me to be like...
Just be massive.
Yeah, I just like would float more. I'd float more at a higher energy level with less concern about everything. And everything would just gel easier.
Okay.
Because I had less like finicky energy in myself.
And more mass.
Yeah. It was like I took all the anxiety I had. It's like, anxiety. And I was like, you're just massive. You're just massive.
Like the anxiety is like spikes. Or you know what I'm saying? Like frizzes at the end and you're just like smooth it over.
Yeah.
Be massive.
That's what I felt when I came out of myself, was something like that. And then turning that anxiety...
During like a yoga trip you did?
Like, or I guess there was like a 3 to 4 month span where I was doing like 20 to 30 minutes of yoga. Like it started before my workout, but then once I realized that at maximum discomfort is where I felt the most like pull out.
Like some freaky shit.
Yeah.
Some freaky discipline shit.
Right. And so then I realized like, let's do it at the end of the workout right before I go to work. So that way I feel just like really good and calm before I go into work and hopefully just like channel more positive energy out of myself.
Let's go, kid.
And that shit was fucking, it worked.
That's wild.
So that's why I was like, yoga, yes. Fasting. Kevin Gates was talking about fasting can draw that same, like when he was describing that, it made me place myself. I was like, I know what he's talking about through that thing.
Really? What did Kevin Gates say that his process was of like fasting? What was his regimen for that?
I saved it. So they asked him,
Kevin Gates is a rapper, by the way, if you do not know. He's a rapper.
Super popular in his time. He said he likes to do liquids. He's like, I like to break my fast with like water, but then like ultimately like when I'm doing like a longer fast, I do like electrolytes and like juice. Long? That was the next question they asked. Nice on the money. He's like, the longest I've gone, he's like, I've done a 42-day fast 3 different times.
I thought you were gonna say 42 hour.
Nah.
42.
So then
42 days.
3 different times.
It's like 6 weeks? Month and a half?
42
month
days.
And change?
7 times 7 is 49, so 6 and some.
6 change week. Oh my God.
That's crazy, right?
During that long of a fast, he's taking electrolytes is what he was saying?
That's what I'm imagining, yeah. A lot of juices, a lot of electrolytes to try to like,
not die.
Yeah, be able to function throughout the day.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy that you just mentioned that because I remember thinking a couple days ago about an episode of JRE I was watching with Sadhguru.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about going through crazy long fasts as well, or crazy long periods of time without any water or food and just pure meditation. Like I don't even want to say I don't even be grossly out of like over 24 hours, right? For sure.
Yeah, he's talking he
days, right?
Yeah, he said he would do like
crazy meditations.
He'd get into the yoga pose and then kind of what I was talking about, but I don't want to act like I'm talking about what he's talking about because he's like crazy. But he inspired crazy in a good way.
That guy's crazy. I said something similar, but I'm like normal.
These are all positive things. I mean, like
I love that guy though. He's awesome.
He's nuts. So like I'm into that. I wish I was that crazy.
Freaky discipline.
I'm trying to get to that freaky level of discipline.
Freaky level of detachment, spiritually enlightened.
Yeah, because when he's talking about it, he like, gets into the yoga pose and then holds it so long that he pulls out of himself for like a week at a time, or like the longest one I felt like was like a month. And he was talking about there was a point where he was so physically exhausted from doing all of these things and helping all these people and being on this long expedition, and then he gets to the top of the mountain and then just like fasted, not eating, like nothing, sits there for like, I think he said like at least a week.
He was touring before that. He was doing and he was like helping people out. He was doing a lot of touring and stuff and doing a lot of presentations and speaking and all that kind of stuff around the world. He was like sick and he was feeling like dog shit.
Yeah, and he was super sick and he didn't want to take any medicine or anything. He's like, no, my body's like good. Like it's all up here. Like when I need help will come to me. And then he realized like he needed to go to a place that was super like energy charged and then do the yoga pose. And then he just like pulls out of himself for like a week. And then he says he was just like sobbing profusely, just sitting there outside of himself. And then his body like healed itself. Yeah. And he came back and he was like, oh, okay, I'm better now.
He's like, I came to and I just like opened my eyes and my shirt was just drenched with my own tears.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
You're doing what? You doing what now, guy?
Are you sure you don't want like medical attention, an IV drip, electrolytes?
I think we need to be asking him about what the fuck's going on. Some of that. That's a Sod Guru episode on Joe Rogan. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. But sorry, back to Kevin Gates.
Well, okay, so this is great because he's like talking about, he went kind of, I really wanted to find the video. You can definitely find the video if you look. He's talking about your body, when you fast, it needs to like consume like itself eventually. It starts eating away at itself. And then once your body activates the mode of eating itself, the first thing that it eats away is the cells that are bad for it.
Yes.
So if you have like a cell inside yourself that's like a cancer cell or like a cell that's like parasitic in any way, or like you ate some or
it's like if you have like any like disproportionate amount of any cells, it's like, oh, we have too many of those, we need to get rid of those.
Yes. Once you can allow yourself to subtract, it can start auto-correcting yourself back to balance.
Yeah.
And then he was like, and then what happens is that like when your body digests that, it produces hydrogen when it's on subtract mode. Okay. And then when you breathe, you breathe oxygen. And then when you mix oxygen and hydrogen, you create water. So it's like you can just be on your fast and not eat, and like once you're in subtract mode, then you'll just like stay hydrated because your body doesn't like, you're creating a lot of water all the time. And then it's like you're fine.
What? That's crazy.
That's what he was saying. And he was like, and that's how I keep myself healthy. He's like, a lot of y'all are not healthy because you just like don't fast. It's like when I really need to get healthy and really, it's like the other thing is you can start seeing like that spiritual realm. Like you can start seeing things for how they really are. You start seeing yourself for how you start seeing like you see it all the time in normal life. Like you see it, but then like you don't see it like that. And I was like, I know what you're talking about,
I know
bro.
what he's talking about.
I know what you're talking about, bro. And then like, yeah, it just made me want to go take a week off of work, book myself a little spot in Colorado, a little Airbnb, and then do a little Kundalini yoga fasting session. Just like cleanse the fucking.
That's some sheesh right there, brethren.
Just sounds fun, right? It sounds like.
I would like to learn the Kundalini yoga poses and I guess the associated breath work that comes along with that to allow you to reach those states. Because I think that'd be pretty fucking awesome to just be able to stretch yourself there.
Yeah.
Or to yoga yourself there. Yoga's already awesome. I enjoy yoga. I enjoy the mobility and flexibility and like the...
So good for your body.
Yeah, the mental strain and challenge that comes along with that. It's a different kind of working out. It's a different kind of exercise.
I feel like a different kind of yoked when I'm doing that. I'm like, oh, I'm hard, but like in a fucking bendy way.
In a bendy way. Yes.
All right, we need a better audio situation just to address the meta.
Yeah. To just pull the cat out of the bag. Our audio, I think it's the cable. One of the cables, I think might be we just needed a whole new interface as well.
DAW.
Either
interface
way, though, we
is
keep
the right
it
word,
rolling,
actually.
baby.
Okay, we're better now.
Nice.
Yoga's tight. We'll get there, man.
I would like to do that Kundalini sheesh.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. We're going to get it.
Some ayahuasca in South America.
We'll get to a point in our life where it's like every quarter we're doing some shit. And let's just like work hard in between every quarter. You know?
Just go ham. Yes, man. I love working hard. Working hard's the shit.
It justifies the... You know why I have so fun when I go on vacation? I work so fucking hard in between when I go on vacation.
Yes, 100%.
It's like the same thing applies when it's like... When I go out to dinner, you know why I enjoy it so much? It's because like I worked out so fucking hard that morning. It's like there's like a thing every day where I can like really enjoy like what I'm doing because I'm working so hard, and then like there's a bigger overarching thing that when big milestones come, I enjoy those so much because I work so hard for the long period of time too.
Yeah,
it makes me like emotionally overwhelmed sometimes. You know,
I love that. Yeah, I love how that. I think it translates also from that big level of like working hard in between vacations to also the simple level of, I remember being super psyched out whenever I learned from Jim Stepani that after a workout is when your body's like most susceptible and most in need of simple sugars, because you just used a whole bunch of glycogen and you like exerted all your body and used up all its resources to push all this weight. So like after you push all this weight, like that's when you can have like a donut and like some pizza and you know, like
some shit.
Yeah, you can do some shit. And it's like, you just went through the shit. Your body needs this.
Like enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
This thing that you would normally deem as like guilt-ridden.
A cheat day. Yeah.
Yes, bro. That's hacks,
I would have
brother.
I'd have my gummy bears ready to go. I'm like, I'm gonna slam on those gummy bears after this workout, bro.
Yeah. The nihilist would say, so when I want to enjoy gummy bears, I have to squat until my brains want to fall out of my ears. And then immediately afterwards, and only immediately afterwards, I can slam gummy bears.
Yeah, bitch. You gotta squat till you puke.
It sounds unfair. I'm like, I get it. Yo, I just want to tell that person, like,
understandable. For
as much as that sucks, once, like, I said yes to that, life became equally as dope. Like, cooler than I could have imagined. That was the experience where you're just like, what is the writing on this show is incredible.
It's crazy.
The writing team is great. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's violent. It's violent. It all goes somewhere. Something you just said maybe connect back to like a Theo Vaughn thing that I saw on Instagram. Just like yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Some water, some alkaline water. That shit's fucking slamming.
Thank you, brother.
Alkaline water. I remember Jazz was asking us like, "What's your favorite drink?" And then me and her mom both said, "Water, alkaline water." If you want to be specific.
Like on a dating show.
Yeah.
Water. Yeah. Alkaline water. I love you, baby.
3 points. 3 points. 3 points.
We're nasty.
Yeah, we're not. That'd be a tight show to go on. That'd be
so fun, right? Yeah. That'd be so fun.
I would love to go on a game show. I've always had that mentality, but never ever even like attempted to even start the process of going through how to figure out how to do that really. But I've always said, I would love to go on a game show. I think
it's a video. Fun. It's a video application, much like this, where you would,
if you know someone,
you would say, "Hi, I'm Matthew. I like to party. I'm a good time.
I like long walks on the beach. What can I say? I'm a cliche.
I know stuff about things. I went to school at Texas State, and then they might be like, we fuck with that guy. Let's get him on here.
I can play some Wheel of Fortune. I can play some Deal or No Deal. Any of that shit.
Deal or No Deal would be so fun.
I don't give a damn.
That'd be so fun.
I remember watching game shows all the time with my mom. That was awesome.
That was a big part of eating dinner and then watching a game show, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like Americana culture for a minute there?
Yeah, watching like Price is Right and watching Wheel of Fortune.
Dude, I used to go to my grandma's house specifically to like eat donuts and watch Price is Right. Yes. That was such a fucking Saturday ritual.
Yeah. And like that was, I feel like, very common in like the normal meta for people to be watching those shows on like normal cable television. Mm-hmm. But even with my mom and myself, we went like a little deeper. We watched a lot of GSN, like Game Show Network television.
Yeah.
We watched like Lingo and Press Your Luck.
Chain Reaction.
Miami. Yeah, Chain Reaction. A whole bunch of shit like that. It was tight.
What is that?
I love a game show.
Why?
I think we all love games.
Is that what it is?
It's definitely also the chance of winning money is a big allure.
That's a metaphor for reward. We all like reward.
Yeah.
Reward-driven creatures.
For sure.
Dude.
Who couldn't use some more money?
I think it's mental reps. I think you're like...
To play a game?
I wouldn't have done that. She's an idiot. See? Everybody take that down. Take that down. Don't do that. Don't do that. Or just like take it.
I know what's going on here. I would crush this game.
Dude, that was definitely my family to a degrry. Like when we're watching American Idol, like secretly we're the judges that you should be worried about. It's me, my mom, my dad. Okay?
You're fucked.
My mom's basically a straight Polly. Like you're fine. As long as you're kind of like, I really love every, like if you've got a sweet bone.
Have a decent story and tell it well.
Yeah. You don't... If you got a sweet bone in your body, my mom will probably pass you. You know what I'm saying?
You're good to go.
But then, like, yeah, my dad would be, like, super technical. Be like...
Simon.
Yeah, for sure. More of a Simon character where you're going to be like, she has no pitch, honey. She has no pitch. Like, what are you talking about?
She has no range
How are you gonna
whatsoever.
If you can't hold a note on this show, like, you've watched this show, right? Like, they can't... And then, like, that would be... And then I'm always like, that's my dog. That's my dog. Chris Daughtry. I love that guy. That's my dog. But, like, something like that. But, no, but it was nice to... I think there's part of us in American culture that does do that, where we're kind of like... We like watching someone go through a perilous challenge. And then when they stumble, we can all be like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Or, like...
Watching a movie.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Game show's kind of different, though, because it's like more interactive.
Like Survivor. People that play watch Survivor, I think they think about playing Survivor.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Right.
Same thing with like Amazing Race.
Right.
Everyone who watches Amazing Race wants to go on the fucking race, dog. I'll tell
Right.
you right now. I've seen enough seasons to be like, I'm ready to go on the race.
I remember my mom.
I call it the race. That's how you can tell when you're ready for it. At least in my book.
Yeah, that's the one we should apply for. If you were gonna apply for
That'd
anyone,
be fucking lit.
Yes.
That'd be so fun. The Amazing Race. If you don't know, I'm not sure how it's a very old show. It's been around for 20 plus years. Good amount of seasons on. I'm not sure where you can watch. I think Hulu for sure. I'm not sure where else, but you go to more or less a race around the world with a whole bunch of teams of two. It's like I think it starts with either 12 or 14 teams of two, whole bunch of duos, and you just race around the world together. And then by the time it's the last race or the last leg of the race, there's only 3 teams left, and then whoever finishes first wins. I think $1 million. I think they started and held $1 million the whole time.
nice.
Yeah, I remember watching some of the early episodes, and I was like, "It's still $1 million. Fucking nice." Inflation now kind of like makes it a little bit more devalued 20 plus years later.
$1 million is still
M, though.
iconic.
Still
yeah,
an M. Give me
It's
a fucking M.
put an M
I'm
on
racing around the world, bruh.
It makes it worth it. You're doing it for $1 million.
I would love to do that show though. It'd be fucking awesome.
$1 million is enough to change your life, but not enough to keep it changed. You'd have to change it.
Unless you're super smart with it and a little lucky,
Yeah, I think you'd have to invest it like into something that would make
and you already
more
have something
money.
going.
That would be nice too, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, that'd be
I
sick.
just need an angel investor. It's like, boom, here's $100,000. It's like, nice. Let's fucking go.
We're hoping now. Now we play.
That's where you want to be. You want to be ready for the random $1 million that comes into your life.
That's what they always say, right?
Yeah,
It's
be
like-
ready all the time. Will Smith taught me that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, is that who it was?
I
There's a
think I
big
heard it
be
from
ready
him,
guy.
but I'm not sure if he originated those words. Who knows? We're all just kind of borrowing words here.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows of all the things that have been lost? Let's bring it back to episode 10.5. All the things that have been lost to the ether in the past ever.
Just gone.
So many great things. So many great jokes. So many great laughs.
What's the library in the desert?
What's that?
There's like a library that got burned down.
A library in the desert?
Yeah.
What desert? In the United States?
No, I'm thinking Egypt,
Oh,
but I also might be talking about an Avatar episode.
okay.
But the Avatar episode might be alluding to something that definitely happened. There was the Library of Alexandria
Okay.
in like Greece times. It burned down, but it was said to hold like all of the scientific and like artistic knowledge of the Greek people, the Greek and Roman people.
I remember hearing about that or hearing about something like that in history class for sure.
Yeah.
Like, there was some shit that got burned down.
Like they had figured out aqueducts, which was like fucking crazy. Like no one expected people of that time. It's like kind of like, oh shit, they were smart. They were fucking smart. They like figured
They're
out.
not cave people the whole time.
They used yeah, no. They had like no, they had like
If I think of anyone in the past as cave people until, say like the 2000s or like the 1900s.
I guess yeah,
Everyone
right.
Before that must be a caveman.
Something
Sorry,
like that.
say a library burning down.
Yeah. And like I guess like the way that they like the textbooks of their engineering, and then also like because they had plays and shit like that too. Like they had like a big art, like Greek art is still like crazy, like valuable and shit like that.
Yeah, some theater and shit. Some,
Yeah, so
Some
all of
creativity.
that shit was in a library that got burned down,
hmm
and then that was like as history got written from that point, the culture was like shocked. They were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we lost the Library of Alexandria." I think is what it's called.
How much did we lose, man?
Yeah, now it's a metaphor for that thing. It's
Uh-huh.
like, oh, we lost the Library of Alexandria.
We
It's
lost
like-
so much to the ether. Just back, yeah. We say that. That's just like I guess whenever we say we lost it to the ether, we say that a lot in reference to sometimes like really funny moments or really creative moments or like musically inclined moments that we have. That's like together that are not recorded.
Like a killer
no re-
freestyle in the
Yeah,
car.
a killer freestyle back in the day. No one's recording, and you're like, oh, I said some stupid cool stuff. Like that was awesome. That was it. I don't have it. I have no access to it. It was just a moment. Now it's just a memory, and I don't have access to those things, and they're gone to the ether of all the memories.
Hurts my heart.
You know.
So the Library of just a quick beep caveat. It wasn't the Greek people. It was the Egyptians. So it'd have been
Okay.
like how they built the pyramids and shit like that.
That's important shit.
Yeah, we
Who
still.
burned that down? Who the?
I had it. I have it right here. Caesar.
You
Unnecessary
Roman,
pomp and ancient Caesar's cut off all Egyptian boats.
Roman motherfucker.
I guess so. He got cut off by a bunch of boats in the harbor of Alexandria, and they said burn those motherfucking boats. But then the boats caught on fire and then burned down the library. And he was like, "Oh shit,
My bad, y'all.
stupid fuck."
Damn, there goes all your archives, bro. There goes your history. There goes. Who knows what they knew?
Wait, Caesar was from the Greece, right? So yeah, I'm
Rome?
Right there on the timeline, something like that. Rome.
I don't know.
Italy.
Le boot.
You get it.
La bota.
You get it. So yeah, sometimes things get lost forever, and you're just like, fuck.
To the ether with it.
But it all goes somewhere.
It all goes somewhere. That's what I was talking about. I can't remember where we were going with that thought, but that was where we brought it back. That was a great bring back. I can't remember. Damn, I can't slam your oop.
We were like fasting.
Talking about fasting. Talking about doing yoga. Talking about I'll go somewhere. Damn.
It'll come back. It went somewhere.
It goes like just like that.
Just like that. That was a
just like that.
Example.
Right to the ether. Y'all saw it here first.
That's exactly.
Sometimes the idea comes back to you from the ether, and you're like, "Oh, thank God, it came back to me. I have it. It's here now in my mind."
Write it down.
Yeah.
Bring it to life. Materialize it. Yeah. So that leads me to the belief that, like, I heard this on different stuff, but like sometimes those ideas or like the inspiration that comes to you is like some people think that that's an alien. It's like this idea of like whatever that thing that comes back to you and you're like, oh, that's a valuable thought that I had forgotten. But there's something valuable there. It's like maybe those things are happening to people. If that thing's happening to people all across the board ever, and then just some of those people are like writing down the songs that they're inspired to write or like expressing it in different ways, like those are the things that are keeping us throughout time and history. Like that there's a commonality in the human experience that like we get like inspiration and then express that inspiration, but that the inspiration is like its own being and force itself. That's helping guide history throughout time, which is kind of like a crazy thought to think about.
The muse.
So that's why it's like they say in the artist world, you should develop a relationship with the muse. So that way, when it comes to visit you, like you appreciate it and you listen to it, and then it can learn to communicate with you better. So instead of just giving you like a low vibration signal, it could bring you a higher vibration signal, and you're able to receive that and like transmute it. And then a lot of people say like, that's art. Like you are nothing. Like death to self. Like just fucking... Let the art speak through you. Be a transmuter.
Yeah. And
then you have to like develop transmuter stat by having. I perceive that as having a relationship with the inspiration. I'm like, oh, I'm listening to you. Like it's important. I agree, it's important. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the best I can to like make sure I bring this thing to life. Thank you. So that way, hopefully, we keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it keeps giving you more things.
Yeah, more juice. Because there's times when you have writer's block, and you're like, why can't I think of anything dope? Like nothing comes out of my mouth. So weird. But then there's other times like last night where I'm just like saying anything. It's like every second I'm like, boom, something cool. Boom, good bar. It's like, let me hit this high note. Damn, I'm in this bitch. Like, It's like, where does that come from? Like, why am I right now? I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. And I think it's like, you gotta, like the last 3 months with the boo thing, the inspiration muse lady, like we've been going good. You know what I'm saying? No fights. Like I've been listening. Like,
let's go. Yeah, I was meaning to ask an update on that.
Oh, no, I just mean like the muse literally that I've been developing a relationship with. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
tight, yes.
Yeah, and then it's just like, it's smooth. Like I can just write now. Like I sit down and I'm inspired. Like it's easy. But then I think when you're not true to yourself or whatever it may be that disrupts that flow with you and the muse, then like that's when it gets harder for you to write.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a feeling thing for sure. Because I definitely remember whenever we would freestyle and you would just be rapping on just like go, you know, just now. You're just so in the now. It's just like you're kind of forcing the creativity almost to some degree. It's just like go. And then sometimes in that going, you're watching yourself as you're kind of having to formulate the words in real time too. It's weird. Like formulating the words and saying the words and then like analyzing that whole process at the same time.
Because sometimes I'm just tripping. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like while I'm in it, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because there are times whenever you're doing that and then you can, whenever you're like viewing the creation process that you are doing right in front of yourself, you can feel if you're off a little bit. You're like, oh, I'm kind of stumbling right here, or oh, I'm not feeling it. I'm not hitting. But when you're hitting, you can definitely feel it. And you're
it's
like,
so
oh my
weird,
God,
yo.
I'm just bah.
Everything that comes out is bah.
Bah.
Yes,
the
bro.
timing is perfect. Your punchlines are perfect. You're like already like 2 lines ahead. You're like, I already know the last line. I just need to hit some filler right here. Sometimes the filler is just disgusting, and then you end it with this stupid line that you already had premeditated, so you're able to deliver it with perfect confidence.
You're on the money.
Chef's kiss.
It happened last night. I was like,
chef's kiss of freestyling. That's what it is right there.
Something about it when I know it's really for me, and then I was like, oh, I can set this up by saying, you can't take away what God set out for me. And then I was like, but you need something in between there. And I'm like falling into the bar and I'm like, this is for my glory. one time on my story. How could you take away? But then this is like easy because you're like, you know what I'm saying? Your perceptive box is like, I start out there and then I'm like coming back this way with my thoughts while my time is like pushing me this way. And you just have to like land those two things like that. And sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes you're like, I suck. I can't do it. Like
It's
even
hard.
Even right now, like it's hard to just do it with, but like when you're in that zone, like dude, whenever I set the bar, I'm staring at intangibles, just like objectively as a writer, I'm like that bar is great.
I love it.
I'm staring at intangibles.
I love it.
It's such a nice play on words. And then the other thing is like I didn't think about that at all. It was like you need to go, and I was just like staring at intangibles, and it was like that's just what came out of my mouth, and I was like, what? What? Where does that come from?
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta like, do a whole rain dance, try to ritual your way into a encounter with the muse to hopefully get one of those lines.
Right.
And sometimes you can just have them with literally zero preparation.
Like none. So it was that thing trips me out. I aim to like understand that, but I also think that part of it is like not understanding it like fully, just kind of like being present in that moment and then enjoying like last night whenever I was like, oh, just keep going, like you're in the zone, you can keep writing, like just keep writing. And then I think that's just part of the process, right?
Yeah.
But it's such a thing. It's so apparent. It's so real. That I want to have a relationship with that muse to try to invoke more positive writing sessions.
Yeah, some more creativity, whatever your outlet of creativity is. Because some people, I guess, writer's block is also, I guess, a common terminology for not being able to produce your art.
Yeah.
Whether it's painting or whatever, it's like you have a writer's block with painting or a writer's block with sculpting or whatever your art form is.
I'm sure.
Podcasting.
Right, where you're just not in the flow state or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Or
with like with beat making, anything.
A lot of it's
the block. Yeah, I guess like the block. I guess you put the word writers before it, but I guess like the block is the thing that's I guess universal across all the mediums. It's like there can be a block between the muse. I think is kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
writer's block, whatever that blockage is.
You can experience it as an athlete where you're just like out of the zone.
Yeah, you're just not making shots.
Yeah,
you're not in the flow state. You're not entering the flow state.
Yeah, you're not feeling like passionate about what you do in this moment, even though like you are passionate about what you do. It's like confusing to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what's going on here? Like, I think that thing that happens to everybody. That's part of life.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But you gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep going. If you're able to have that winning mentality, take those L's, turn them into fuel and a learning lesson. Move with better ground now. And I've also kind of like with doing this, with doing like some of the podcast stuff and some of my, I guess some of the work in the recent past, I've come to the idea of like while I'm doing the work, I guess maybe not accepting but maybe having in the back of my mind accepted the idea that I'm probably going to have to, if I have to scrap this, I'll scrap it, you know, like don't be afraid, or like if I have to redo it, I'll redo it. And if I have to, or because I'm going to get better every time. And
yes.
You know, if I don't be afraid to start over from scratch.
Yeah. I like giving my,
don't be a perfectionist. And like, or I guess there is a counterbalance with that. Don't be like overly critical, but also be critical enough to be like, no, this is not good. I'll scrap it and start over.
Yes.
I'm not in a rush to get it done. There's no deadline.
Yeah. The best art comes to like when I'm like, oh, that's gas. But then I play it back and it's like, some of it's a little sloppy. But like, if I'm like running it back and I'm like, that's a little sloppy, then like the better parts don't come out. But when I'm just like encouraging myself, that's when like, I think the better parts like flourish out. I think that it's like, it's the same experience. It's just like your lens of perception of what's happening, right?
For sure.
Yeah, that was what you were just talking about, but I can't remember.
You're someone being able to take the L and turn it into fuel and keep moving forward. Because I guess you need to be trying to win is what I was trying to allude to. That's important. You need to be trying to win in something. Try to win.
Kobe was talking about that a lot.
Get some dubs.
He's talking about, I don't understand failure. I'm like, it's just the process of winning. I'm like, I have to lose this championship so I can learn this thing so that hopefully next year I don't lose again. That's why you get so tooth and nail in the playoffs, because a lot of your losses are hinging on, it's like, okay, I fucking lost last year and I grinded for a full fucking year so that I can get back to these playoffs and I'm not going to lose to these motherfuckers again. Like,
not again. I learned my lesson.
Right? That's part of what goes into like the energy that...
The metaphysics that is the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And when those energies collide on the field of battle, like sometimes Kobe's energy was just bigger because he like had more on the line.
More massive.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was going in, man. I love that guy. That's my dog.
He's insane.
My dog.
No, we didn't get enough of him.
Man.
I didn't get enough of him.
Yeah. Just to the ether. To the ether.
Oh, with all that Kobe.
It's Kobe. Oh man. But yeah, how was I guess I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how was the not chaos, but I was gonna say like the feminine or the chaos to your order, the feminine to your masculine.
Oh yeah,
How's that?
it's chilling. We're super busy, so we were texting about how we hadn't seen each other in a little bit, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still there though.
Yeah, we're still like talking,
Hell yeah,
for sure.
let's go. That's what's up.
I feel like
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. My life definitely. We got to stay busy. We're doing a lot,
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to integrate it in all the time.
Yeah, which brings up another good question. Would you want to meet someone before or after you're famous?
It's a great question.
Before or after you get some M's? Would you want to meet your partner before or after you? It's a good question. Everybody ponder on that.
Because I guess in my mind it's like it could go a lot of ways. Because like so the way that my brain wants to dice it up is like, do you want someone that knows you like before you were famous, or do you want someone that like met you post famous? But it's like there's a lot of like many things that could happen. Like you could be a famous person that meets another famous person, or you could be a famous person that gets with somebody that you did know before you were famous. So they knew you before you're famous, but they didn't get with you before you were famous. So there's still like that kind of tie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or there could be like someone that you met in the crowd, like Kim K. Like literally someone that you met in fame. Like she's like, "Oh my God, you're famous!" And then you're like, do you want to be my partner?" It's like that's kind of a weird thing, but some people do that. Like there's a lot of like different ways of thinking about it, right? But I guess like ultimately to me, I just want like the perfect, not perfect. Perfect's such a crazy word, right? That's an insane word. But like I guess I just want like the best partner
Perfect
for me.
for you.
Yeah, I want the best partner for me. So like I don't know wherever that is.
Most ideal.
Yeah, most ideal. And then there's a lot of things that go into it. Like there's just there's some things that women bring to the table that like I appreciate and value, but then there's other things that I just like appreciate and value more. And then when and then there's also things that certain women draw out of me. And then there's like modes of behavior that I appreciate more, right? It's like I kind of like this girl, but she kind of draws this out of me, and I like the way that this girl, the way that I am when I'm with her, I like that thing more. So like there's like I kind of like feel all that out while I'm dating too,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like what I'm looking for is like I don't know, it's just like a feeling, and I think that certain women just make me feel a certain way, and like I think when you just know, it's such a weird thing to like try to put your finger on, right?
Yeah.
But like, so I was watching the movie Casino, right? And he was talking about how he has this like, if you've seen Casino, it's like a film noir cult classic, I would say. So it's pretty iconic. Like
De Niro back in the day.
Right. His partner that he gets with that becomes like a big like motif and throughout the movie is like their relationship. She's like a Las Vegas hustler, and then he like it makes it. And like in Las Vegas, he's popping. He owns the casino, and then she's kind of like hustling people in the casino, and then he like gets with her, and then she's never really like all the way in with him, and he like knows that, and then he just like plays that game, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't do that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that girl makes him feel that way, and it evokes that energy out of him, and then they have to play that game together, and like that's kind of what I'm looking at in my mind is like, what game are you gonna have to play with that person, and like what do they want to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think like it's like the LSD experience. Like I think like the perfect thing for me will like come across, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is like exactly what I was looking for. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't really put my finger on exactly, but like I feel it right now. Like this is how I wanted to feel, and then I think like you just like things fall into place.
Yeah, I think God does that.
Yeah.
Whatever allows the future to become the future.
Yeah.
I think the universe, the higher power, is able to allow those things to meet up, or allow that situation you were talking about.
Yeah.
That meetup to happen.
Yeah.
And those storylines to cross over and all that shit to kind of come into a perfect thing. I think it comes whenever you kind of have to set that intention on that, and then kind of let go.
Yeah, 100%.
Trying to reach that, like, peel back your perception. It's just like, okay, just like, not just be the best you can. It's like you say your intention. Now just kind of play your best game.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the last couple weeks really was like
I have faith in that.
I was like, I feel like I'm detaching more, which is weird because like that's always the answer, and I've already detached a couple times. Didn't I just detach to be? It felt like I had to detach, and once I detached from a couple things, then it kind of opened up my spiritual doors, and like I started dating a little bit. Like it kind of came in like a season, where it was just like the options to be able to date kind of just like popped up, and I was
in a more rapid rate, or a noticeably more rapid rate than the previous X amount of time.
yes, facts.
It's like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, no, and then like with my free time, I started like dating a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like that's whenever then that's where I kind of noticed that different women will evoke different energy out of me. And then like there was like times where I was like I like being this person. Like I feel like this person makes me feel like this. Like I don't know, like I feel like this about her, and it just like it's just weird. Like it's hard to explain. But I was like I like feeling like this is more or less like the takeaway. And then when I was with her, I felt like that. And then I was like, but then it was kind of weird because I was like, what do I need to do with all this information I just gathered? And I was like, I think I need to like detach again. It's like now you just have like more parameters for like when you are dating, what feeling you like to feel and how you like it to look. And so like be honest with everybody and just keep it a buck, and then just like be not like picky, but like be more patient, I guess. Like wait for that.
Don't be so eager to just dive into something that presents itself.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I maintain like a very similar energy when I was in my desert loneliness stint. Sometimes the seasons will play out to where all of a sudden people just keep like situations play out. It's just like, oh, date opportunity, where it's like the previous last 6 months there was zero.
Right, like
there's all of a sudden it's like 3 in a week. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
or there are crazy interactions.
It makes you feel like there's something in the stars.
What
the fuck's the astrology this month?
You know what's going on? Where are we?
Virgos are going through.
What retrograde is this?
Yeah, exactly.
All sorts of shit like that for real.
Yeah. So then, and then it was weird being like, so I felt like I had to detach, and then that window opened up, and then once the window opened up, I was like, what do I need to do here? And it was like my higher self was like, detach again, a further level of detachment. I was like, oh my God. Like, but then I understand it. I think it's right. Like,
yeah, I think you're right there, bro. I think you're right there.
Cause now
you're right there.
I think I know what it's gonna feel like when that thing does like come across, and then I've also seen like, like something I learned in this dating pool is that like if you don't give women attention, like they're gonna not like take it personally, but like if they're down to give you like energy and you don't like reciprocate it, then like that's not gonna go unnoticed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the truth.
You can get down to the nitty gritty with it.
Yeah, and then a lot of times that's like an emotional like discharge. Like it's not gonna go well. They're not gonna be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like I'll be here around whenever in case you change your mind. It's like a lot of times you're like, oh, okay, well.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite the opposite.
So I feel like I just want to be like, just like prepared for the right opportunity or whatever it is.
You want to be prepared for the right opportunity, and you don't want to be overly eager to assume that any opportunity that presents itself is that opportunity.
100%. 100%. That's exactly how I feel.
That's it. Yeah, you're right there. You're right in the fucking cut, dog. Right in the cut.
In the cutlery. God's still working on me, I love that.
Still working.
I love that. Every day is an opportunity to get better. For instance, personally, I had I thought I had a rib cage injury from playing aggressive basketball. I don't think I told the basketball story. Or maybe I told it on the last pod.
I don't think you ever told that basketball story. No.
So I'm looking for a basketball court. I drive to one basketball court. Nobody's there. I'm like, I really want to bow, though.
Outdoor court?
I'm looking for an indoor court because I really want to bow.
Yeah, whenever you really want to bow, you want to bow on an indoor court.
Yeah, because you can like play real defense. You can box out.
Usually the rims are better typically.
Yes.
There's no wind.
None of that. Just hoops.
Bucks.
So I'm like, well, let me go over to I go to my home court, which is not known for bucks. But sometimes you catch offhand hoopers there. No hoopers there. So I go to the place that is known for bucks, and like, nobody's there.
Bucks are us?
No bucks are us.
They're closed.
They're closed today.
Damn it.
Made me sad, right?
It's a holiday.
So then I drive over to Julian's LA Fitness where I work out when I work out with my homie, Julian, across town. And there's usually hoopers there. Like they hoop over there. I've had a good session over there. And then I pull up and there's like 4 police cars outside of the LA Fitness. And I'm like, what are their odds that this is basketball related? And then I'm walking.
15%.
I'm walking. And there's a guy. Now check this out. He's dressed much like you. Slacks, Jordans, button-up chain. And he's holding a basketball.
Oh, no.
And this makes me sad. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? Because he really just kind of dressed like a pastor right now. Like,
He's
what?
not looking like he's trying to ball.
Like, what's happening? And then they're going through his duffel bag. And I'm like,
Who's
okay.
The police?
The police.
Oh, okay.
And then I walk inside, and it's like a circus show. There's like 5, 6 people from the fitness, like standing up, looking very like, fuck. And then a bunch of people that I perceive to be basketball players all standing in the lobby. And because they're wearing like hoop gear, basketball shoes, holding basketballs, I'm like, oh no, gentlemen.
Hoopers.
What's happening here?
Where are the hoops?
What's...
We have the people. We have the equipment. We have the technology.
Are you guys balling? I came to bow. They're like, then I asked, hey, big fella, what, he's like 6'6".
Hey,
Like,
big fella.
you clearly are playing basketball here, dog. Are y'all, is the session still going on? What's going on here? And he's like, well, that guy, he brought a gun,
Oh,
but it was in his duffel bag. And this other guy, he saw the open duffel bag and saw the gun inside, and then he called the cops. But like, we were playing basketball, but now we're not playing basketball.
oh,
And then the desk people are like, basketball court's closed today.
oh.
And I was like, damn. My first question was like, was he flexing the gun? And then he was like, no.
It was in his duffel, and his duffel was open.
Yeah. And I was like,
Shame.
why didn't you close the duffel, dog? We could all be playing basketball, dog.
If you just had the strap concealed, my man.
It's
Just,
Texas.
zip, just a little zip. Just
I
one
thought
of
about
those.
that. I thought about that
Zip.
driving away. I was like, oh, am I happy that they found the gun and stopped the basketball so no one got shot? Because I've been at a basketball court where someone's gotten shot before.
Yes.
So like, I'm not trying to just like throw that out there like that. Like, oh, I was like, because I've been there.
That's real.
But in my mind, I'm like, do I really want? And I was like, do I care? And I was like, it's Texas. Like at the mall, there's like 30 people with guns all around you.
it was a strap.
For
It was
sure.
Like, it was like a handgun.
I think I guess I assumed it was a handgun, but
rifle.
it could. See, that's a great
It was
question. Duffel bag.
RPG. Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think he was playing.
Probably pistol.
Probably just self-defense handgun. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even mad at him. I was like, damn, this sucks for him.
He's in
probably.
Texas.
Right? I mean, I didn't meet the guy, but I assume he probably was just like, your normal Texan basketball player.
There's a guy with the button up and the slacks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, that's confusing as to how he was playing basketball with his duffel bag open. Maybe he was just change. Maybe he was about to change.
Yeah.
Maybe he pulled out his hoodie and then the strap fell out.
That was my first thought. I was like, this guy doesn't sound like he came to ball. He's wearing Jordans, but he's like only like 15% of the way there.
Accurate description of what I saw. It felt like a dream, so I kind of remember it. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy, right?
Yeah. I guess if he's wearing Jordans and button ups and the slacks, who gives a shit? He can ball. Maybe he was balling after work.
I don't know.
That's crazy. But I guess where did you end up on the question of how did you feel? More safe or?
I just imagine that he was probably like, well, okay. So truthfully, I imagine like if I had a gun in my duffel bag, I would not leave it out in the open with the duffel bag open. I'm not fucking dumb. So I feel like to some degree, he probably was like flexing it or like was like not afraid for people to see it. Like I feel like there's a part of him that wanted to be hard in that moment. Maybe otherwise, I question why it's not more concealed personally because that would never happen to me. Like I would definitely not want people to see that because
Way more on top of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fucking gun. And like and you're like literally in a public place with all of the like criticism about America and public shootings and shit like that. I'd be like, it's like saying bomb on an airplane. I'd be super careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like so while I was driving away, I was like, like it doesn't really bother me in Texas, but I don't like Peep the Glizzy. I don't like Peep the Glizzy culture per se. I think that's a little wild, and you see that a lot with John Morant in the strip club. Peep the Glizzy culture.
Peep the Glizzy, dunking on motherfuckers.
But
It's not cool.
Yeah,
It's a little cool. But
not cool.
Okay. It's not okay. It's not acceptable all the time. It's a little cool, but it's not acceptable.
Like it is hard. Obviously, it's hard. Look at hip hop.
It's hard. It's a crazy powerful thing. A gun.
Yeah.
Crazy powerful.
And the thing is, like, what's hard about it? It's like, if a kid sees someone with a gun, it's like, the hard thing about it is that, like, that person, unfortunately, lives a lifestyle where, like, to protect his family, and, like, even my dad, like, just in places that you live, Texans sometimes, like, need to carry a gun to protect their family. And the fact that they're willing to do that and embrace that and, like, hopefully train for that. Like, take it seriously.
Yeah, my family's got guns. My stepdad's family, like, they have like guns. They like, know how to clean their guns, load their guns, unload their guns. They have land. They hunt. All that shit. The whole nine with Texas
Right.
folk.
And I feel like the hard thing about that is like, I'll protect my family. Like, that's hard.
Respectable young man. Let's go.
That's hard. Flashing the glizzy just to have it.
Americana.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, levels and layers. Just trying to like be a good influence out there in the space. You know what I'm saying?
Balance to it.
I'm
That's
sure
crazy,
John
though.
feels the same way.
I guess I don't know what I feel. I guess in a sense you are kind of like there's zero potential, 0% chance that any shit's gonna go down here, because there is situations where you've been in that shit goes down.
Yeah. They got
son of a bitch,
they got into an
man.
argument, got into a fight, turned into a brawl, turned into a guy pulled a gun out of his backpack.
Basketball gets heated.
People get heated. That's the problem.
Dude.
God bless you.
Excuse me again.
Yeah, and like
Shit gets heated if you're a hooper.
yeah, for me too. Like, and then there's another part that's like I don't mind it getting heated. I don't, but like the one thing that's scary is like I've played in environments where we get heated. That's like what we do. Like if it's a bullshit call or like if someone's trying to cheat and it's like overtime, like 14-14, win by 2, and someone's like more or less cheating, like
Or trying to take advantage of the fact that there's no referee and no official objective narrative that we all have to adhere to, like that the referees create. We all kind of are the referees for ourselves here.
Yes.
So like the narrative, like we're kind of all playing the game and being the refs at the same time. So if you're trying to like manipulate that,
yes, take advantage of that situation to try to like win rather than like playing the game fairly, in my opinion. Like that'll make me upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that what I was talking about?
yeah, like oh man, foul. It's like no, that was not a foul.
Dude, you're a pussy, bro.
You're
Oh
a
my God, bro. You've been doing that all game. Like, you clearly just don't want to lose. Like, because the other thing is you see someone make a
It
bad
gets heated.
decision. There we go. But yeah, I'll be like, you made a bad decision. I know basketball. I watched you make a bad decision. You threw up a bad shot. You missed that bad shot, and you called foul, so that way you wouldn't have to feel bad about turning the ball over in the clutch time. Like, kind of fuck you, bro. It's like, fuck you for all of that. Like, wear it, adopt it, go play good defense.
Yeah,
Like
get it
that.
back, get it
That's
back.
on you.
Mhm.
And like, so then I've been in positions where like we get heated for sure, and we get passionate or whatever. But then like, there's some people where it's like, I guess like they get to that level, but then the response to pull out a gun is like crazy. It's like I would never have gotten so heated with you if I didn't think that there was like a higher sense of like sportsmanship going on here, gamesmanship. That we were like passionate competitors to a sense, like trying to make each other better. Like if I knew it was like that, bro, I'd have just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I would have just like literally played silently. But is that what I have to do in this world? Like nobody wants that. Like my teammates don't want that. Your teammates don't want that. Everyone wants the more passionate competition.
Yeah,
Right.
it makes the win way more valuable.
The whole experience, right? It's more energy
Yeah.
charged. Like
The whole day.
yeah.
If you go to the basketball court and get some fucking dubs and then go home, you go home a winner. You
Feel
go
like
home
a
up.
champion. It's not the real thing, right?
Yes.
Your lobster is a little more sharp red.
Yeah, you're just, bitch.
But if you take a tough loss and you got to go home, it's the opposite too. Like, God damn it.
Look at me.
I missed that shot.
I'm in shame.
Am I someone who misses shots? Am I a shot misser?
I'm a loser. It's a real thing.
Fuck that. That's why I be playing hard. Which brings me to, I get to the fourth gym.
Okay, so you
For
leave
the
that
day.
place and you're like, fucking A, I still need some bucks.
There was one last gym I could cross off that
You're a
had
true
hoops.
hooper. You're a true
I was
hooper.
out there.
You a hooper to death, bro.
Dude.
Jesus.
Just like it's all I wanted to do. So it was like, well, that one's closed, that one's closed, that one's closed. And I was like, you're trying to take this from me at this point.
Like, this one had a gun. You still continue? You're like, yes, I want bucks.
So there's a 24-hour True Fit that's 2-story over by the mall, which was back up on my way home anyways.
Perfect.
I stopped there, and there was a really good basketball game going on with like good hoopers that could like dunk, like high intensity, good court,
It's just going down.
playing
baby.
good games.
Shout out True Fit.
Shout out True Fit. Wednesday nights, it goes off there. And I dove for a ball because I hate to fucking lose. I don't like that feeling. It feels terrible. And then I kind of like knocked the wind out of me. And then I wasn't sure if I had like a rib injury, but also I've been eating like I fucking play football for Alabama. So like,
My boy, you just got drafted. They're like, we need you to put on 70 pounds, son, by day one. What?
I eat like 2,000 calories a night before I go to sleep, which is like, some people eat that in a whole day.
My man slamming some water busy.
Shout out Texas. Shout out What a Burger. That's about as
Easy.
Texas as it gets.
Whataburger.
I'm,
Local. I guess local Texas chain. Texas fast food.
Yeah, I'm eating chicken sandwiches and taquitos. It's
Ballin'.
not necessarily the best stuff, but I burn so many calories, it's like ridiculous at that point. And I'm trying to gain weight anyways, and it's working. So I'm like, fuck it. But I'm having an issue where I was like having a hard time digesting all this new food from this new diet sometimes. And then I'm like literally throwing my fucking body around in these 5-on-5 games that I fucking refuse to lose. And my heartbeat is like beating out of my chest. My lung capacity is like really good, but even my lungs like, and then like just kind of like try to dive and throw the ball under me and then like punch myself in the diaphragm kind of while I'm trying to do that. And then my elbow kind of like jams up into the wall and it made my elbow pop and like also dig further into my chest. Oh. And so like I got up and like my elbow popped and was just fine. And I was like, oh, thank God I didn't break my arm. But like I had no breath. So I had to be like, as if I were repping bench.
Getting the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah.
That's some shit. It's some scary shit sometimes.
Right.
For real.
So I think there was like a combination of like my ribs kind of being sore, and then like also I got like a little gastric impingement in my stomach where like I could feel myself not digesting food.
Too much Whataburger.
Whataburger stuck in the bowels, stuck in the aqueducts of the Citadel of Matthew.
My city.
My fucking city. Dude, for real. So like for 2 or 3 days, I was like, I had like a fucking jacked upper layer of abs. Because like that's where the impingement was like right above, like right below my chest and like right like above where my like middle abs would be. Like
at the beginning of the intestine.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. Didn't make it very far. Right. I can remember the night I think it happened. And I think what happened was that
it's like pretty straight until it's like right under the diaphragm. Then it starts to, do its thing. You got some Whataburger from like a week ago. Bitch.
For real. So the other thing is I drank a little bit, which dehydrates you out. I sauned super hard after drinking to try to sweat it out like a fucking goon. I don't know why I did that.
Less water in my body.
It's really helped me get over this dehydration I'm experiencing.
There we go.
And then but all of that really like I think like fucking made it so that my body didn't. The more water you have in your system, the easier it is for your body to digest. Yeah, exactly.
A little more lubricated in them bowels.
It was exactly like that, but it is like that. Like your kidneys work better when you're hydrated.
Yeah.
Like everything just works better.
Yeah, I'm sure your heart, all your blood circulating, all the circulating your body does is probably more. Properly fueled with some water in your system.
I think that's why when they tell you when you're sick to stay hydrated, it's like because your shit's gonna stop working well. Because like your lungs won't be like if you just like let yourself get all dehydrated and all like your lungs will be like. You know what I'm saying? So I can feel myself. I can feel myself in that state of like my body's not really working very well right now, boys. We're working out at 3 a.m. I accidentally went to the strip club last week.
Whoops. Whoa! This is in my room.
This room's way bigger.
Who brought me here?
I've been spending so much money. No, like
happens.
Yeah, it just happens. It was a natural life course.
Happens.
Yeah, and so anyways, throughout all of that, I felt there was one night when I was really trying to like. I think it was because I felt so shitty. I was like, maybe I'll just eat a little extra food here.
There we go.
That'll help me to like wake up tomorrow with a little more energy, and I'll be like, hopefully I'll be good. I guess I don't know.
Okay, I love it.
And so I threw a honey butter chicken biscuit with an egg on top of my normal order.
You went above and beyond.
I did.
An extra like 600 calories.
Yeah, baby. Bulk season. Dude, the summer's coming. I'm coming for summer.
For bulk, baby.
Summer's got me on its calendar.
Yeah.
90 days to Matthew.
Come on, baby.
And then, but that night I laid down and I was like, oh, God. Something's not right. Something's not.
Your body is just like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?
Because I eat that food in about 30 minutes. I eat this 2,500 calorie meal.
a quick little light 2,500 calorie nightcap. Some slice.
Some people, my mom used to eat some cheese slices sometimes, little Hershey's bars.
Oh God!
No, I slammed this fourth meal.
Okay.
And
this is after you've already been feeling a little down.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not feeling great all day. It'd been a rough couple days at that point.
Okay.
Trying to get it right or something.
So now, what happens after this?
I start to get this. I wake up and my chest is so tight. I feel like it's hard for me to take a breath, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But my first thought is an anxiety-ridden person is like, have I been smoking too much? Is this it? Do I have lung cancer? Am I fucking going down?
I'm about to Walter White.
I'm about to Walter White.
Walter fucking White this bitch.
Did I cross the line? And then, then 24 hours of me thinking I've given myself cancer go by. And then the next day, it's like, not so much my ribs hurt anymore, or not my lungs hurt anymore. Like, I can expand my lungs and take a deep breath and even smoke. And it's like, fine. But it's like my ribs hurt. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking makes more sense, I guess. Like, I'm at least scared. Like, I've had a rib injury before, and it's like really like a pain in my side. It hurts to laugh. It hurts to breathe. Like, hurts to sneeze. Like, what the fuck's going on here? And then I'm like, man, I might have to go get x-rays. Like, I don't fucking know. I might have, like, torn some of the cartilage off my ribs when I punched myself in the fucking diaphragm. Like, I don't know what went on there. And then fucking the next day goes by, and like I can feel like as I'm stretching and shit like that like this thing is like moving around. And they talk about how you can have like ribs be dislocated and like not quite be set in place, because I'm doing a lot of WebMD at this point, like pain in my side, not heart related.
A whole bunch of doctor shit, dog. Yeah, let's go Google.
Come on, baby, just like fucking going in there. And then one of the things I saw is it could have been like a gastric impingement, where like a part of your fucking dietary system is fucking like clogged up, more or less, like trapped, like shit's not going through. And then I was kind of hoping for that, because I was hoping it would like work itself out. And then sure enough, fucking I don't know, I guess like this is, so we're leading up to what was yesterday over this 3 or 4 day span.
Okay.
I woke up and it kind of felt better. I was like, okay, I can fucking wiggle around. This is like, okay. But as the day went on, it was like, okay, there it is. There's that really tender spot. Like, I do feel it. And then I'm walking in an HEB trying to get groceries at 11:52, and I get the cold sweats, and I'm like, oh fuck, do I have COVID? What's happening right now?
Dog.
I do not feel okay. I feel so high right now.
Clammy.
I'm only like a little high. I feel so high. Like, I know this isn't right. And then I'm like trying to walk, and I'm like feeling kind of wobble-legged. I'm like, is this room or is it me?
Is this room level?
Yeah.
Is this level?
Seriously. And I was like, I'm tripping. What the fuck? Like, this is not good. And then I feel my stomach go, whoa, 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 whoa. Like this.
Do what?
Wom, 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 wom.
And like, what's happening during the wom wom?
I felt like a UFO was like transmitting matter from here to a different part of my tract. It was like, wom, 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 wom. It felt like the clog was like, wom, wom, wom,
it was like moving. It was like, it's like vibrating through.
Yeah. And I was like, and then like the pain in my side like completely went away. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, bet. Like, I can fucking breathe. Like, I can fucking punch myself in the ribs. It doesn't hurt. Like, I'm good. Like that. And then I was like, found the place where it was tender, and I was like, oh shit. Like, that's where that shit was stuck. Like, that shit kind of hurts. No lie. Like, I don't know if that. Like, hopefully that heals relatively easily. But then like, so that was like last night leading into this morning, where I just kind of like now have a baby of Whataburger and whatever else.
You're pregnant with some Whatabeezy.
Yeah. And
oh my gosh,
I'm going through medical treatment to get through that. But it's okay, because, so all of that to say, like, I really didn't want to tell you guys that I was basically constipated for 3 or 4 days and thought I had a broken rib.
Too much Whatabeezy.
I didn't want to tell you about that. The struggles of bulking like that. But
bulk life.
When I was really fucked up, I went to the gym at like 3 a.m. twice the first 2 days when it was really bad, because I thought maybe it was just a rib, and I thought maybe I could work out through it. But like the thing that in my mind that like I felt like I was finally at a new level. I was like, dude, it's working.
Like a new physique.
It's working. Like the physique I want, I feel like is like a year away. But like 6 months ago, I just had a vision. I was like, oh, I think I could look like that. Like I want to pursue looking like this thing I just saw in my mind based on some Instagram post I just saw. Like I got inspired.
Let's go.
I was like, I could see that for myself. I want to pursue that body for myself. That's me.
That's me.
I'm gonna chase it down. I'm gonna take it. And I spent 6 months like kind of pursuing that thing, like my best sense of what that could be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I caught a glimpse of it like a week ago. And I was like, there it is.
I'm on the way.
There it is, motherfucker.
It's on the way,
it's right there.
I'm right down on your ass.
And I feel like one more year of doing this, I can like tighten it into that place I want to be. But like once I felt that tier climb of like, oh shit, like I'm touching the realm of where I want to be. It was like my body was like getting kind of fucked up, and like all my time constraints were making it really hard to work out and stay like on my fucking grind. And it felt like the devil's trying to break me down.
Yeah.
And I was like 3 a.m, my ribs all fucked up, and I can't really do bench because it like hurts to push up. And I was like doing it on a machine because I could like more stabilize myself, and just like I was getting a pump, and I was like working out around the pain and shit like that. And I was like, well, Matthew, this is cracked. Like you're officially at cracked. Like if this was a Navy SEAL mission and you got shot, you worked out twice with a bullet wound. It's like, I think at this point you could reasonably rest and like say, like you've done all you can. Like just rest and whatever. Even though I really don't want to stop and I really want to keep going and I don't want to fall backwards. Like I'm just going to like lay down for a little bit and just like let my body do what it has to do. And then I'll get back on the pursuit.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, my body like, whoa, 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 in the middle of a fucking HEB. And, yeah, well, I think in like 2 or 3 days I'll be like better and like right back to it. It's like 100%. So tight. I'm so thankful.
That's nice. Golly, that's such a whole reality that we all have to deal with.
Our body.
The poo. More specifically, the poo.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, our daughter was like constipated, or not, I guess relatively recently, within the last 6 months.
Yeah, it happens.
Like fuck. It's a whole thing.
I remember as a kid, that was like a hilarious thing to me. I was like, you can what?
It happened to my brother when we were younger.
Really? Yeah, it's a thing.
It happens to people all the time.
After my surgery, like I had a bunch of scar tissue on my stomach, and it happened to me like twice. And I was like, what the fuck, dog? And he was like, it's because it's like your stomach now has like different shit. It has to like bypass. There's like scar tissue. It'll get you clogged up sometimes.
There's more obstruction.
Yeah, for sure. And your scar tissue's all like inflamed and swollen right now.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's dense.
Right.
Yeah.
Like little pinches in your, like where your bowel used to go. So then, yeah, I was like, being constipated sucks. Your stomach hurts really bad.
You're slamming that shit with some water easy.
I was gonna pop this bitch, bro. I was nervous I was gonna pop this motherfucker.
Right there.
Yeah.
When you were like losing your sense of fucking the reality.
Yeah.
You're probably right there, and then it was like, just like,
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. My stomach hurt when you described that.
Yeah, your intestine had like, or like the musculature around your intestine.
Yeah.
It had to like your body had to like control the musculature to like contract and harden the right muscles to like squeeze it like a hand.
Yeah.
But like the musculature around it. You know what I'm saying? Your body's like, it's like, what the fuck, man?
Like trying to plunge a toilet, dude. It's like get through there. Yeah, dude, for real.
Do you think everyone's been constipated? 100% of people?
I wasn't constipated until I was like 21 years old. I like never understood that. I was like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been constipated like that, or like to where I need to get, I guess, like assistance or like medical treatment. Because it gets like that. You need a fucking.
No, yeah.
There's shit like that. There's a, what's it called? The sheesh that they put up your butt.
I can describe it to you.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. It's called.
I don't think I've ever been to that level, so I don't think I've been constipated on that level.
I have. Just in a moment of honesty.
But of that level, I think probably a good percentage of people.
Yeah.
Half at least. At least.
Yeah, I'll go with half.
I think everyone's experienced some level of constipation, though. So sort of like, oh no. You know what I'm saying?
Because the whoa, that's a scary feeling, dude. Like it feels not good. It feels like you're gonna pop. So like when you have it, it's alarming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've heard that to help with that digestive process, helps to eat fruit that start with the letter P. So it's like pineapples, pears, peaches, papaya.
Yeah. I'm with that.
Apparently that helps, and also fiber, obviously.
Fiber helps. Yeah.
Eat some fucking beans.
Hydration helps. It's a dehydrate. It's for me personally.
Definitely be hydrated. It helps.
It happens when I do dehydration plus overture of dairy plus too much beef. Usually is when it would happen. Because like beef is like hard to digest, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you put something in your stomach that's hard to digest whenever it's like super weak, and then for whatever reason, I think dairy just like clogs it up. I don't know if that's like real or not.
I think it's individual, case by case.
Yeah, probably right. But like I think it's happened to me 3 times since my surgery, and all 3 times noticeably it was like too much cheese, and then like too much big food like that. I never. It was like my shit wasn't working right, and then I just slammed it with food.
Too many honey butter chicken biscuits.
Destroyed that thing. Like one time it happened on a steak, and then I always know. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this thing down. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, fuck, why'd I do this to myself?
It's like 20 ounces of steak.
It's so hard to run when you feel like this. Like you can't.
Gosh, I can only imagine.
It's just like boom, 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 and that's your freaking guts. Your freaking guts bouncing around.
Oh, yeah. That's awful.
Yeah, it's tough.
So yeah, eat some pears and some pineapples and peaches.
For fiber.
That might help you out. Some fiber one bars. They have some brownies that are pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's what I used the last time. During COVID it happened. Was the last time it happened, yeah. And I sat down with a box of those, and then there's a drink you can drink. If you don't want to use the thing, I can't believe we're talking about this on our podcast, but I love it. We keep it a buck. Like Milwaukee, we keep it a buck in this bitch. There's a drink you drink. And then they have like cherry flavor, grape flavor. It's like carbonated Kool-Aid basically. And that shit is like a fucking nuke.
Hell.
Like you go sorry,
what's it called?
Man, we can look it up real quick.
Okay, sorry.
But
it's a nuke though.
Yeah, you can get it at Walgreens, CVS, like anywhere there's like a laxative section.
Okay.
And it's a drink.
What's it look like?
It looks like a bottle of mouthwash, maybe like a really a smaller bottle, or like a bottle of Dayquil. But its purpose is intended to drink it all at once.
Oh shit! But it's like a small, like a 5 or so inch big Dayquil size like bottle. You take the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly like that. And then it's like, and it tastes like carbonated. Like I get the cherry one. I remember. I was like, this smacks. I love when medicine is.
That was the next question. Was it good?
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. And then, but what it does is it's a fucking bomb. Okay. Its intention is to like push everything through your guts. And it's like, like the stuff you're drinking is like
the carbonation is supposed to help
that, and it's a diuretic. So like it's like telling your stomach, like it's like medicine telling it like you must poop. You must poop. I'm gonna need you to blow it up for me, dog. And the stomach's like, oh, okay, bet. Now that I've got that on my system, I can definitely help you blow it up. It just sends. It's like
thanks, I was ready.
Yeah, it's like
I needed.
It's like taking a grenade and throwing it down your stomach. And then I like that stuff better than I like that stuff better than the enema because you would.
That's what it's called. There it is. There it is. Enema.
The enema is like the same thing, but you do it just like with the backdoor cut.
Epidural. Epidural. Enema. There it is.
That's what it is. Part of my bars last night where I wrote a nasty bar about epidural. That's so funny.
Really?
Yeah, it came to your brain right now. The inspiration muse.
That was fucking weird. Because I was like, I know it's not epidural. I know that's not right. I'm not even gonna.
I was giving that off.
Yeah.
No, enema.
Okay, enema. So, but to avoid that, this alternative nuke drink is a better option in your opinion? I guess I can't.
Yeah, but I've also seen it not work. I've also seen it where like you're blocked up and then it just gives you like a ton of gas and it like doesn't quite. It's like imagine like a demolition, like a boom. But the building's still standing, and you're kind of like, "Fuck!"
It's a whole bunch of wind, just, all the trees. The building's fine.
Just like shit. And you just spent like a whole grocery trip and a whole evening thinking you were solving the problem.
Damn it!
You're right back to square one, which might be enema.
No.
Yeah.
I want to know what it's called. Can you look it up?
Yeah, I got you.
I want to know what it's called. That's so funny. So you've seen it not work though, so it's a nuke, but I guess it doesn't have 100% success rate, which is kind of
no, but it worked for me the first time.
Usually nukes you have a pretty good success rate. You said it worked. I guess what's your experience with this particular beverage?
I think I used it 3 times, and it definitely worked for me one of the times. It's called the magnesium citrate.
Just once?
Like, okay, so the first time is like I went to the doctor. And then like I used it, like it was my first time post surgery this happened, and it was like for over a week. Like it was like almost concerning for me personally because I was like trying to train at the time, and I was like, dude, this is like not okay. Okay, and it was
A
like
week.
yeah,
That's a long time.
and it was summertime, and I think I wasn't working at the time. I was working ITS. I was working a fucking what's a dramatic way to describe a dull job?
Um, Dole.
Soul crushing. I was working a soul crushing, fucking teeth gnashing, just boring ass job doing nothing. And then this is
I liked watching you two at ATS.
I know, it's funny because it's like at the same time it was a nice, easy job with nothing to do.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like though. It literally just looks like a drink, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
But that's not Sprite. That shit'll fuck you up. You wanna peel the tab off that and give it to someone, say it's some fucking lemonade.
10 ounces. I got some mixers.
That should be it tastes good, but it's a nuke.
It'll fuck you up, dog.
So after my surgery,
In case you want to fuck with somebody.
magnesium citrate.
Magnesium citrate. This one's lemon. 10 ounces.
That's probably great too. I like the cherry
Only
one.
only like $4.
Cheap, super cheap.
$4. Nuke someone. Not bad. Not a bad price.
Not bad. The second time it happened to me, I used that and it went away like instantly. It was like problem solved.
Nice.
And I was like, fucking, that stuff is sweet.
Box checked.
But then the third time, that didn't work. And so what I did was I drank one of them, and then I was like playing Xbox all day during COVID, and then like, boom. But the building still stood. I was like, son of a bitch, I've got a problem here.
I need the heavy demolition crew.
So I got like a box of the Fiber One bars and 2 of those.
Oh,
And
shit.
I sat down for movie night. And I ate the whole box and I drank both of, or I guess I like ate the whole box and then let that sit for a minute because I realized I'd have to digest that obviously.
Let some fiber get in there.
And then I drank both of those. And then it like
Both?
yeah,
Both
one
two
and all.
nukes.
One wasn't enough.
Stop fucking around. No, that's 3. That's 3 total.
Down the hatch.
2 would have been enough. Down the hatch.
I wanted it gone.
Okay. And?
I don't like. So I think what happened is that like it was like a dum 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 situation. We got, and then like the building like it like knocked out the bottom and it fell, and then like the next day it really all came out.
Okay.
But like it was just like. It got. I think what it did was it got the blockage loose.
I love our analogy.
Yeah.
Sorry, get going.
It got the blockage loose, but it didn't give me an exit. It just like got everything back to a humming stomach.
Okay.
And then the next day I was able to process it all.
Oh, golly, that's hilarious.
The first time was the worst, bro. I had to get this medicine, right? So like the next step is if you can't like the enema doesn't work, which is that's crazy to think about, right? And then the fucking magnesium citrate doesn't work and the fiber's not working, then you have to like the doctor will give you like imagine like a gallon of water, but it's a two gallon of water.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of medicine on the bottom, like Gatorade powder already on the bottom. So you just like put water in there and like shake it up. And then the goal is to drink that whole thing in 24 hours. And if you drink that whole thing, like that's the nuke.
That's the Moab.
Like a marathon's one thing. That's like a 200. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like, but it tastes terrible. It tasted terrible, Justin.
What's the flavor profile?
Oh my God.
You would classify it.
Aluminum and piss. That's what it tasted like. Aluminum and piss.
Somewhat hydrated piss or like dehydrated piss?
Vinegary.
An athlete's piss or hobo piss?
Desert man piss. Desert man piss and sheetrock is what it tasted like.
A new flavor. Desert piss and sheetrock. It's a new addition.
Imagine you're gonna have a sandwich, and the sandwich is drywall, and then attic insulation is the meat. Like no, legitimately, it tasted so bad. Like I'm joking, but like somewhere along those lines, there's a truth.
It's terrible.
It was hard to drink,
One of the
bro.
worst things I've ever drank.
Like definitely top 5. I've had some medicines that tasted worse. I remember one medicine when I was a kid that tasted worse for sure. But that was like...
Was it because you were a kid and thought it tasted bad, or was it that bad?
It was both.
Okay. Oh, how young
I think
were
as
you?
an adult, because I'd never taken a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Now as an adult, I could probably take a shot of the medicine and it'd be cool. But I remember specifically the medicine. I'm 8, 9,
Okay.
10 years old. But I had a fever dream about how bad the medicine tasted.
Damn.
And I think that's what kind of fucked me up.
Okay.
Because a fever dream's like a hallucinogenic experience when you're a kid. You're like fucking tripping in your own mind. You're like, I can't even like
10.
Yeah, I would get like a fever. I remember I had like a 104 fever one time.
Damn.
And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just like fucking tripping balls. Like, like, I don't know. And then the medicine was so bad. I was like, why is the thing that's going to make me better so disgusting? It's so crazy.
So gross.
So gross. It's like I can
almost
feel
not
it
even
dripping
worth it.
down my face. Like, I was tripping.
God, with this particular drink.
It reminded me of that because I was like, it was the middle of the summer. I think I had the day off and I was trying to train really hard. And it was like, today I need to drink this fucking gallon of this stuff. Or like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's starting to get bad. And I was just like drinking it. And fucking, I think I didn't even drink it all. I was kind of a pussy back then. I only drank like 2/3 of it. And I was like, I can't do anymore, dude. I just can't do anymore. And the next day, it was like,
That was enough.
it was enough.
No building standing. No building could ever stand that Moab.
The doctor knew what he was prescribing for sure. There's a reason it tastes like so bad, and they're like, drink this. It's like, I guess it worked.
This
it worked
will
for
do
sure.
it for you.
Yeah, it's like man. And I think the other thing about it is that it's like meant to hydrate you. It's like if you drink 2 gallons of this water and all of this stuff, it's like there's no way you don't freaking clear yourself out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Well,
I love it. I love it.
That's poop talk for you.
Well, poop top. Oh man, but so if you're blocked up a little bit right now, just know you'll get through it. You will get through it as well.
What a tie-in.
Just like we got through this podcast.
What a tie-in. Jesus.
You'll get through it. There's means and methods. You'll find a way. You'll figure it out. You'll get through it.
100%.
You'll get your bomb. You'll get you'll blow up anything in your path.
You will level all the demons in your life.
Yes. Oh man, any parting words for the beautiful people?
Nah, I love you guys. Thanks for staying for poop talk. I really feel like we can talk about anything now.
Love y'all.
You know?
Thanks for hanging in with that one. I'm sure there were some decent nuggets in there.
Jesus, the
Some
poops.
nice info.
I like how you started off that bit. It's like such a human thing. Everybody has to poop.
You have to.
If you can't talk about it, like you're kind of a bitch because it's such a human, like relatable thing.
There are doctors who specialize in poop.
Yeah.
Poop doctors, okay? Maybe,
Sir,
maybe butthole doctors.
You're way out of your jurisdiction. I'm the poop expert in the room, sir. I went to Harvard Poop Caca.
I know my shit.
Oh my god, I've forgotten more shit than you've ever taken, doctor.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Thank
But
y'all.
human thing. And I love you.
Human thing.
Thanks for sharing your human time with us.
Appreciate y'all. Hopefully your day was brightened. Keep going, whatever you're doing. We love you. We appreciate you. We're cheering for you. Keep pooping. Keep hooping. Keep dreaming.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
See you next week. I love you guys.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might